Have you seen guys that recording in their cars or they're recording while they're walking down the streets? There's actually a trick to this because people's mind needs some kind of action that keeps them motivated, that keeps them engaged in the video. If your video is constant all the time, like there's no change, no nothing, people might get bored and they're not engaged enough in the video. They will just close the video or just swipe away. There's actually a fix to this. So you see how people records in their car or they're moving, like they're walking and they're talking. This is the trick. Their background is constantly changing while they're walking down the street. So your brain thinks, oh, there's changing. This is interesting. It's not boring. I will keep listening to what this guy has to say. That's the trick here. There's another guy that I've seen. He recorded with his chessboard. The setting was only him and the chessboard, which makes it really interesting to watch because it's not something that you see common these days. Like a chessboard, you wouldn't see a chessboard if you're not in like a chess game or something. You want to see chessboard intentionally, but he somehow related the chessboard and him. It keeps the audience interested to listen to what he has to say. It's not just the guy with something that you can see very often. Like if this guy is recording, like it's just him, it gets boring because if there's nothing in his background, it's just him, like records with his phone, right? You'll lose interest in this in no time because it's just him. There's nothing to see there. Even though he might have something good to say, your brain won't get focused enough in the actual content. If you know this guy, you might be, because you already know like he has good things to say. But if this is some random guy you just scroll on, right? You see this guy, it's just him, you'll get bored and you'll just swipe right away. However, if you're able to connect something that's unusual with you, it will keep the audience interested in what you have to say. Like this chessboard guy, whenever he talks, he will actually like move the chessboard pieces. Like while he's talking, he'll move them. It will keep the audience engaged in what he has to say, because if he's just talking, you don't know where to look at. But if he's talking while he's moving the chess pieces, like even though it's just one move every like 10 seconds, that's enough, because there's been researches out there that shows like people these days, they have a very very short amount of time in focusing on something that is not changing. Like I believe it was 8 seconds. So like if 0 to 8 you don't have something that has like a huge change, your brain will start to lose focus and you'll lose interest in what this guy has to say. So to avoid that, you will need to make some changes, whether it's small changes. This thing right here, you can see all video I've been moving this thing. This is like the small change that I'm using to keep you guys interested and focused in this video. Even though like it might be distracting, like I'm moving this thing entire video, but it actually keeps your brain focused and not wanting to swipe away. Even though I don't have like a big change, like the settings isn't moving, it's just me talking, my hand gestures, and this thing right here just moves all video long. But you can see some more advanced content creators, the professionals, they have more experience and they have more equipment. So like they might have like a second camera right on your side, and like every few seconds after the small changes right here, they also have like a big like camera change. Like they'll just swap the main camera to the second camera right here, and then the entire screen will change. That's like a big change that will keep your mind and your brain focused and engaged on the video. You know, like why when your teachers are talking you get bored? Because your teachers is up there, they're talking, and it gets boring because some teachers, they might have something good to say, you're just not interested because they're boring. Why? It might not be the actual content that's boring, it's the way how they teach it. They'll just stand up there and be like this, that, right? You'll get bored. You don't know, like you don't want to learn. Your brain is not focused on the actual subject. But some actual like more professional or like more experienced teacher, they will have some tricks that keeps the students focused, not just because they have better things to say maybe, but the way how they talk. They have small tricks. Like there's one trick that teachers use and content creators use, is changing the speed and the volume of the voice. So like maybe you've experienced this with some teachers. When they're talking, they're not always the constant speed, because if there's always this constant speed, your mind will get used to that speed, right? And you would like get used to it. So for me, when I was in school, if the teacher like talks in that speed or that same volume all class long, I would just be like dead in like 10 minutes in, because even though the content is changing, their speed, their volume, those are not changing. Your brain would think like this is not interesting, so I might as well just sleep. That's not what you want to do here. You want to change the speed, you want to change the volume. Even though like I'm still practicing this, but I believe if I'm able to keep on practicing, I will be better and better at this, changing the speed and the volume and whatnot. The main purpose of this is to keep the audience, the students, interested and engaged on the actual topic. Aside from the actual thing that's moving in the background, if you're listening, the speed, the volume and whatnot, those are very, very important. And if you're looking at the CC right here, that's also moving, because if I'm talking, right, the captions will be generated, and some people doesn't have their sound opened, they are able to look at the caption and the captions are moving. And you can see like those viral content creators, they have like those fancy captions, like when you talk, the word itself will blink, like if in a sentence, whenever I'm saying a word, that word will blink. That's also a way to keep your brain interested and keep your brain engaged on the actual content. Like you'll read along, like it guides you through, which serves a purpose because it will decrease the amount of work your brain needs to think. So yeah, I think this is a very, very good tactic and some helpful tricks and whatnot to if you're a content creator yourself, you might be able to try this out in your next video or not. But even if you're not, if you're just a student or if you're a teacher, you can also use this trick to get people's attention. That's just how the brain works, and I hope if you practice this long enough, you're able to master it. And I hope that you will succeed using these tips and tricks. See you guys in the next video.